Hey, hi everyone. This is Vivek Kateria again. Thank you for joining today. We are going to discuss more about the NDC today, the new distribution capabilities. Before I get started, thank you everyone for joining, and I'd like to give you a wishes from my side for the happy Lodi, because today is the Lodi celebration happening across the city, even across the nation. So thank you again for joining. Let's get started on the today's topic. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see, and we will roll it up. Okay, here we go. Great. So air distribution is changing with NDC, the new distribution capabilities in the airline industry is happening. We are going to discuss more about this. So let's get started first about the NDC. What are the definitions? So with the definition, the idea is very clear. I'll give you the core understanding how, and that with that understanding, it will be very easy for you to understand in a detailed manner. So the whole NDC framework and the whole idea of the NDC is more about the airline retailing. So the way more products and offers can be offered to the customer agent, this is what is NDC is. Now, to understand it, what is happening is there are some standard which has been defined, and they with those standards, those 4 and 5 standards, you will be able to correlate and understand all the points of NDC. The first and the foremost is about the messaging standard. Basically, with the messaging standard, the idea is we are standardizing the communication across the travel industry. So when we are talking about any information which need to be shared with the NDC from the airline side, there has to be standardization in that communication across travel platforms. That is one of the purpose of the NDC. Second is a technology standard. If you follow my image, a technology standard is to improve the communication between airlines and travel sellers so that the information and requirement can be get shared in a better way. So that is what is happening into a technology standard. We are defining the technical requirements. Again, we are standardizing them so that there is no surprises. There is a standard process which you follow, and following that standard process, a technology requirement can be get shared. The third comes to the standard of exchanging data. So NDC is, again, I'll say, not about any, it's not a software or system or something. It's actually a standard way of exchanging the information between the two facilitators or two parties, where if the one party is actually sharing the information, another party is receiving the information. So it's a data exchange standard when it comes to information going from airline to the retailers, or maybe the end consumer, or the travel agent, whoever is actually the third party who want that information. So what we are doing is, with the NDC, we are talking about the standardization of data exchange with the party, between the parties. Now, to use that to do the data exchange and the messaging standard, what we are doing is this all the information, to exchange that information, we are using the XML for the communication, to create a direct connection between the airlines and the third party distributors. So that's what we are doing with the help of the XML based standardization, data exchange standardization, technology standardization, messaging standardization, all the retailing standardization. So what is NDC is, typically, if I say, there are different patterns of saying that it's a kind of a standard process or a method used on a different level when it comes to a communication, when it comes to a data exchange, when it comes to a technology standard, when it comes to messaging and XML based communication. We are talking about standardization so that universally everybody understand in the same language what is data and how it's helping. Okay, let's go further. Now what we're going to do is, I'm going to go deep into each side of the definition. So we are going to talk about the new messaging standard. What is happening is right now. So as uh, the whole idea of NDC, again, as I said, it's about the travel retailing, airline retailing. The more and more information can be get shared with third party. So basically, with this NDC, we are enabling the travel industry to transform the way air products are retailed to the corporations or maybe the clients or maybe the business travelers by addressing the industry's current distribution limitations. So what we are doing is, there are some limitations right now when the information need to be asked from the airline side, but with the NDC we are removing those limitations and making that as a standard practice, so that it become very easy to anybody to opt for the NDC side of it. Now, as I said, the whole idea of NDC is empowering the airline to become the retailer across all the channels. Like basically, if I say with this single messaging standard, we can actually distribute to the GDSs like Sabre, Amadeus, Galileo, Tralport, and all. You already know those. Or maybe the aggregators. If I name some like Kiwi, Mystify, TP Connect, and a lot of others are there. Then maybe travel agents or maybe OTAs like Expedia, Make My Trip, Yatra, or maybe the travel online booking tools, TMCs, companies like FCM, and maybe other companies, or maybe directly to the traveler. So the idea is, again, a standard messaging system or a standard, so that the product distribution and the information distribution can be very easily go to either GDS, aggregator, travel agent, or anybody in the travel industry. So this is one way to understand that what is NDC is, transferring the message in a standard information so that it can be understood by everyone. Second comes to the technology standard, as I was talking about it earlier. So basically, it's a technology standard to improve the communication between the airlines and the travel sellers, and transform the way the air products are retailed to the leisure clients or the business clients. So that's the whole idea. What we are trying to do into the technology with the technology standardization. Now, third was the exchange of data, and that again also with the standardization. So as I was repeating, NDC is not a system or a software or maybe a database. It's basically a standard of exchanging the data, and in a very open way, so that it can be accessible for any third party or anybody who is into IT business or IT providers, or maybe any intermediary who want to access that information. So the whole purpose is to facilitate the data exchange with the enhancing the interoperability, and it's become very easy to exchange the data, because again we are talking about the standardization. Right now what happens is, one airline might be following some one pattern, another airline is following another pattern, but with NDC everybody following the same thing. So that was the second definition which I explained you in a detailed way. Now comes the airline retailing as well. Now, as I said, it's a new way of retailing the information for the airline. So here, excuse me, let me just see that if you guys able to see my information. Yeah, you go. Great. So as I said, it's again, NDC is again, it's a new way of airline retailing. Basically, the NDC facilitate the distribution of product offers combined with the rich content and maximum content, I'll say full content, to give customers or the travel agents, the more compelling information, so that they can differentiate what is the offer 1, offer 2, offer 3, and what is the best deal for the client. So what we are trying to say here is, NDC is a single messaging standard. With the help of that, airlines can communicate with the full content and the rich content. So what is my meaning by the full content and rich content? Let me just give you the understanding. So when we talk about full content, normally when you go for a flight reservation, generally we talk about the price, details about the airline departure or arrival, and the what kind of plane it is. That's what we generally do. But when you talk about full content, there are other informations like ancillary product, like you can have a lounge access, so that you can access the airport lounge for a relaxation before the flight, or maybe if you have a transit flight, or maybe a stopover flight. You can also have a seat selection. You can choose the preferred seat as per your choices. Let's say it's a long flight, so maybe you want to have a better leg space, or whatever. You don't want to sit in between on near to the wings, or it could be pre-checked baggage. So for the smoother travel experience, you want to pre-check the baggage, or maybe you want to have a book additional baggage because you are traveling for a long holiday, you have more baggages, or you want to upgrade from one class to the another class, or maybe you want to have a pre-ordered meal. Maybe you are traveling to a specific destination, so you want to book for a car rental as soon as you land. Travel insurance, maybe you want to book, or it could be a Wi-Fi on board, extra leg room, fast track boarding, or it could be anything. So these are the ancillary services which were actually limited before the NDC, and they were limited to NDC GDS, and it was really hard to actually book from the traveler agent point of view. It was all the end customers were always dependent on travel agent, and then it goes to the GDS. So that's where the with the help of NDC, these all airline ancillary products, or we call a full content, is available to be get consumed by the end consumer or travel agents, and that actually gives another opportunity for the airline to retail more and more services from them, and get more revenue. Second thing comes about the rich content. So we talked about full content, and now we are talking about rich content. So rich content is about the information in a broader way, basically, where we are talking about the high quality information, images, pictures, images, or it could be a video images as well of that airline lounges or any service which you are offering. So with that rich content, it becomes very easy for a decision making for anybody who is going to buy that particular product. So that was part of the airline retailing. With the help of NDC, these contents, this information, full content and the rich content is available to be consumed by the end consumer or a traveler. Then it goes through the XML based communication. So the idea was, when we were talking about the standard messaging or technology standard or data exchange, we need to use some communication, some methods to communicate. So that's become an XML based communication standard to create a direct connection between the airline and the third party distributors. With the help of XML, what we can identify the need of direct customer, and according to their need, we can actually open their data, which can be get consumed with the connection with the help of the XML for the third party. So that's what we use with the XML based communication in the NDC. So these are the typical, I'll give you the whole brief again with as a overall. What we are doing is, NDC is a new distribution capabilities, and broadly these are 5 categorization we are doing. What we are doing is, we are defining the standard messaging so that corporate retailing and leisure retailing can be standardized. Information is same. It's a new way of retailing where we are talking about the rich content, we are talking about full content, and we are talking about a compelling offer so that the users can actually differentiate between offer 1 to offer 2. We are talking about technology standards so that the communication can be improved and retail transformation can be pushed further. Data exchange standard, again, new distribution NDC is a data exchange standard where we can open the information for the third parties, IT providers, for an intermediary use purpose. And these are all things which are doing with the XML based communication. So all the XML which are being used, they are also standard for the direct connection, third party distribution, whoever want to consume that data. So that's what is happening in the NDC side of it. I'm sure you will able to understand. Again, NDC is not about a software or a database or a system. It's a standard processes or the mechanism, or we can say a checklist being defined by IATA, so that following that standard, everybody is working on the same parameters, so that the exchanging the information, communicating between two systems becomes so easy. That's what the whole idea of NDC is. Now let's understand how this whole NDC came in the picture, the making of NDC. So as you know, IATA, the International Air Transportation Association, they actually recognize an opportunity where while they saw that when the whole flight journey there, it is divided into 3 parts. One is the flight shopping, then second is the flight booking, and then it goes to the post booking. So in the whole concept, they realized that there has to be a flexibility for the whole reservation. So what, with the help of XML, they enables more flexibility in passing the information from the airline reservation system to the travel sellers, with including the, again, the full data and the rich data as well, which was actually not happening earlier. So with that, they decide, okay, how about if we experience the client experience when it comes to flight shopping? During the flight shopping, when he's actually confused and he's looking for a better product to for their traveling, and then what will happen in the booking while they're going to book, how we can facilitate, and then the post booking experience. So this is was the opportunity which was got realized by IATA, and then they said, okay, when we need to make this accessible for the across the industry, we need to work on the standardization, and that's where the NDC came in the picture. Now, why NDC? And in terms of the we need to do the standardization of that. So the idea was like if we need to make something global, something universal. So instead of having every airline design their own API, their own pattern, and then they will go and approach into the market. And let's say if I'm an NDC provider or a tech company, I need to connect airline A, airline B, airline C. I need to work on 3 different airlines, 3 different patterns, because everybody have their own standard, their own way of the way they have written the technology or the XML standards. To minimize that, to create the market's efficiency, they said for the faster deployment and increase the collaboration, let's standardize that, so that approach can be streamlined to make it faster and easier to the go-to market. So with the NDC, what we are doing, we did is we standardize the API pattern where the faster deployment is possible. We define unified standards so that it will reduce the redundancy. With that streamlined API development, everybody will be following the same pattern. It will be very easy to integrate, to exchange the data information between all the suppliers and the airline. That's how the whole idea came up. And the idea came up, okay, let's start define some standards. Gradually, we'll go from step 1 to step 2, step 3, and every step there will be a standard process need to be followed in terms of, again, XML integration or technology standard, data exchange standard, or messaging standard. So that's what the opportunity came in, and that's how this all got started. Now, before I go into further, there are 3 key concepts which I want to get to clarity, want to give you a clarity on. One is airline offer, another is a airline order, and third one is a travel order PNR. Now, what all this is, let me just give you a brief on that. So airline offer is basically a proposal to the travel agent when he's actually requesting information to NDC airline for any search. So it will contain the air segments, and it will also include the options, something like this, what is the bags, seats option, etc. But this whole offer which will come from airline will have an expiration limit. So this is any request which is sent to the NDC supplier or NDC airline when the air segment information with the baggage and the seat information comes in, this become an offer with the expiration limit. Now, what is an airline order? Airline order is, again, an offer when confirmed by the agent. Okay, yes, this offer looks good for my client. Okay, I'm confirming this order. This becomes the order. And but the order also have the payment expiration time limit. So within a specific time limit, they need to confirm that particular order. Now, what is travel order PNR? So for NDC bookings, the master reservation record will be an airline order, and that will lie within the airline IT environment. Basically, it will go with it will stick to the airline. It has no relation with the GDS. However, GDS will create a synchronized copy of this information into a PNR. So when we are talking about NDC, we are directly connected with the NDC airline. In that case, we are talking about an travel order PNR that will lie into an IT environment, and the GDS will create a synchronized copy of this information in the GDS PNR, which will call a travel order PNR. So that's the information which I want to give you, so that the further discussion which you are going to do, it will be easy for you to understand further. Now, let's go further. What we are doing is how the making of NDC happened. Now, as I said, NDC standard, standards include the whole NDC standard which we discussed. The typically standard includes the two part. One is an offer management, another is an order management. So as I already said, offer is something when we are requesting an airline, and it basically refers to airline capabilities for how they will distribute their full content offerings, their additional services like baggage, seat selection, or maybe ancillary services using this content which they are offering to the end consumer. So that become an offer management. Order management comes refer to airline capabilities. We're related to managing the NDC drive orders throughout the entire process from the booking till the fulfillment. That become the order management. So these are the two terms I just wanted to give you understanding. And on the basis of this offer management and order management, plus minus what services are available, what facilities and features are not available, there are different kind of certification comes in the picture in the NDC. We'll discuss that going forward as well. So that was making of NDC in terms of the what are the standard includes offer management and order management. Now, before let me just take you back slightly and make you understand how the whole idea of this travel distribution work right now, and how it is happening right now, and then I'll show you how it works on the GDS side. I'm sorry, the NDC side of it. So now, right now, if you see on my left hand side, there are travelers. Basically, if I say example of LHR to DXV, they maybe want to travel on flight math, one passenger, business class information. Now, as a traveler in the current scenario, without NDC scenario, he has, when you want to book this further, he has some multiple options. He'll reach to the travel agent. Now, the travel agent could be an OTA. We can talk about B2C. It could be a retailer, or it could be a TMC. With that, this traveler is could be business travel or leisure travel. Any travel could be. But in both the scenario, either he will reach to a TMC, OTA, or retailer. Now, in case of travel agent business, and when you're talking about the TMC, OTAs, basically either they will go to the GDS, because most of the travel agents have the GDS. They'll go into a GDS terminal. They will search for that particular request for the client, and that request goes to the the third parties. Basically, it goes to a third party for the fare availability and the schedule. Basically, fares are basically how much money you need to pay for that particular flight, and schedule is what are the timings, landing, departure. This all information comes to there. So that information comes by the third party, and with the help of airline only gives the availability in terms of, okay, how many seats are available with me. So with combination of the seats, price, and schedule, this information comes to GDS, and the air travel agent gives the information to traveler. As they confirm, the booking get done. So this become a traditional standard way. Or a travel agent, TMC, OTA, retailer can also go directly to the airline's e-commerce website, where they can also do and make this booking. Or a traveler itself directly can go to the airline website and make the booking. So that's a standard process when it comes to a airline or a flight distribution right now it works. So let's see what difference comes when it comes to an GDS, when it comes to an NDC. Now, in case of an NDC, now as I said, I told you the two information. Airline is actually offering an order management system. It's directly with the airline. Now, the difference is this content is an NDC enabled content versus the content which was available through the standard process. Now, in this, as a traveler, I can directly go to airline website, can actually have the NDC enabled content where I can have a complete offer management, and I can convert that offer into an order as well. The difference is this content will be a rich content enabled with the information in terms of the ancillary. Again, I'm repeating, full content and the rich content. I can have a more access and information, and that will also include a lot of offers. Second, I'll go to travel agent. Yes, and travel agent itself have an NDC content aggregation, and he can also help me. A travel agent can also go to content aggregation through GDS, or there are new entrants basically who are coming in the market, like Travel Fusion, Mystify, TP Connect, and a lot of other companies. Using their services, they can actually have the access of the rich content. They can also directly access with the airline as well, and can consume and can fulfill the requirement of the client. So what is happening is with the NDC right now, the content aggregation is happening. Directly NDC information can come through GDS or with the two suppliers, or directly with the if they are a technology player like OTA or TMC, they can have the direct aggregation. So that is the difference comes in. Before NDC, the rich content was not available. We are always dependent on GDS and the offer which is coming. Right now, we can access the same information or better information with the help of the NDC content. We'll also discuss more about what are the benefit when it comes to the NDC content for the traveler, NDC content for the travel agency, NDC content for the uh, airline. What are the benefits comes into? We'll discuss that further as well. Now, let's discuss when we are going to talk about the NDC connections and information, what are kind of certification is. So what the NDC do is, an IATA do basically, this certified you as a tech company or maybe the end consumer when you are going to connect the NDC APIs or airline APIs, they'll give you a certification on the basis of up to what level of information you're accessing from the airline API, and accordingly the certification comes in the picture. So now the first one is the level 1, which is a basic management. Now in this basic shopping experience capability is there. However, the ancillary services will be always the post booking. Now I mean, like on the basic API connection, you can only book the basic shopping where the fare information will be there, images might be there, but ancillary services will not be available. That will be always a post booking experience. When it comes to level 2, offer management, now you might say that if that is the case, why it is only NDC, why we're talking about NDC then, if you're giving a basic shopping experience? The only difference is with this, you're directly connected with the airline and you can have a better prices and other information. Level 2 is an offer management. Here, airline and aggregators will support the shopping and the booking, but they will have a limited or a no support post booking process. For example, when you're talking about a changes or cancellation request and all on the NDC API, that pattern, it will not be possible. For this, again, they have to depend on the support or maybe GDS side of it. Basically, the support from the airline, because we are talking about NDC direct connection. Then it comes to a level 3, which is offer and order management. Here, the aggregators and airlines will support the shopping, booking, and the limited range of post-booking process. For example, changes and cancellations, maybe partially changes and cancellation will be there. And the last and foremost is the full management, basically where we are talking about full offer and order management. Here, the shopping, booking, and a full range of post-booking process like changes, cancellation, these all things will be managed. So right now I'm talking about the 4 level of management certification levels, which I know right now. There will be more might coming up. I'll be keep updating those information and will present you that. So I have just explained right now the level 4 till level 4 of our certifications, how to do. So when you go into any, you might have seen the airline which are NDC certified, they'll say, okay, we are level 1 certified, level 2 certified. With that, you can understand, okay, this NDC airline of whoever the provider is, they have this level of certification where offer can only manage, or maybe offer and order can manage, or maybe full offer and order can be get managed. And that's a differentiation, because people say, okay, I have an NDC certified 10 airline, 20 airline, 30 airline, but not all 30 airline will be on a level 4 or level 3. Some might be on level 1, some might be level 2, 3, and 4, depending on how extensive and comprehensive integration that organization has done for that airline. Okay, so let's understand how you can access the content. So we talked about this all. So how NDC content can be accessed. So there are 2 ways to access the content. One is the technology provider. Through the tech companies, the tech providers can do much of the heavy lifting for you and make it very easy for you to adopt the NDC. So they usually connect directly to multiple airlines and bring them together into a single platform. And they also manage the ongoing maintenance, any kind of upgrades for the APIs and all. So that's something will be all managed by them. Now, there are 2 types of providers today. One is traditional GDSs, including Amadeus, Sabre, and Tralport. They have already adopted the NDC part of it. And there are new distribution players as well. Travel Fusion, Air Gateway, Duffel, TP Connect, a lot of other companies are coming. So you can get from the tech companies or direct connection. So through NDC, airlines are actually able to expose higher quality data, as I said, rich data and full data about their product and services, than just the GDS. So instead of travelers seeing a brand, a time, and price only, right now they're booking with the NDC enablement. They can actually have information like in-flight amenities. You can see the pictures, videos, can have a more travel experience to choose the right product. So these are the two way. Either you go with the tech providers, or maybe you can actually have the direct connection through the NDC airline. Now comes the benefit. So in general, we'll go specific case wise. In general, if we talk about with the NDC, what will happen is you can have improved the product differentiation, basically with the rich and the uh, unique features, more data information. You can also have a customer services, customer experience can get enhanced because you can have a feedback integration could be there, service quality can be get increased. You can have a better management cost because and again it will also increase the level of personalization because you'll be knowing which customer is actually booking what product and what services. You can provide a richer customer experience for the customer. You can access to a lower fares to the customer because again there are some additional charges which goes to the GDSs. So with the discount offers, competitive pricing, lower fare can be get access to the client. Paid extras with this because as an airline you can have the benefit of upgrades. You can have add-on services which the airlines can sell. Cost management, operational efficiency will actually it will have an operational efficiency, reduce resource optimization will happen because we are talking about a more personalized information, better connection with the client. And then again the most important is for the airline side of it, it will avoid the GDS surcharges. Right now there is a large amount of fees goes to the GDS, which will be also reduced. So that's a in general NDC benefit when it comes to industry side of it. Let's go and understand what are the benefit comes to the airline. So as I said, three category wise there. One is the personalized information, product personalization, cost management, and the product differentiation. How the product differentiation is, so rich content consists of a different media formats such as the images, video, sound, or maybe virtual or augmented reality. Now it's also popular. People get the whole experience of the airline or maybe the product. So from an airline perspective, they can include images of the plane, seats, flight features, or maybe add-on services. Or you can also add long descriptions. You can show some of the reviews as well, so, about your past experience, about the experience which client had. You can highlight the promotional offering, etc. So or maybe differentiating a different loyalty tiers as well. If you are on a gold member or silver member, what are the benefits you can avail in the future? So making it very easier to showcase the value of that particular flight or a route, uh, that will help the client. So that's something the benefit comes to the airline. Second comes to the better management of the cost. So now airlines are actually working with GDS, and many have costs to shift to NDC, right? So that allows a long-term saving and a better cost management for the fees and incentives. As you know, they have the airlines will have a higher flexibility of pricing. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So airlines will have a higher flexibility of pricing fares, and you can have more opportunity for upselling to optimize the revenue. Airline can also manage their internal cost better after the implementation of NDC through quicker release of the future projects and improve processes. So with this, basically, because they're directly connected to the customer, any offer, any information they want to release, it will be very speedy opportunity to go to market for the airlines. Then it comes to increased level of personalization. With the NDC, airline will have the ability to manage the flow of the information and better highlight the fare option, extras. And then with this, they can have offer actually unlock the potential for the personalization, dynamic pricing, which could be seen through the offering a special price or maybe bundled price, because we already know that what is the behavior of the client. And according to their past booking experience, the airlines can offer a better deals to them because they know that they are traveling for a specific destination, or last year they traveled for that destination. With that, more personalization can come into the picture. So that was part of NDC benefits to airline. Then it comes to NDC benefit for the travel agencies. As I said, richer customer experience. So through NDC, airlines are able to expose higher quality data. This I have already repeated, already shared it there with you about the product and services through the GDS versus the GDS. Here, the rich information comes in, and instead of just seeing a brand name, time, and price, now we can see the images, amenities, pictures, video, etc. So with this, a customer experience get enhanced. Now we can also sell the wide range of paid services extra. So earlier, what we were doing is ticket was always including just a checked baggage, a meal, and a choice of seat. Now, over the last few years, airlines have unbundled their fares, where cutting their headline price and dividing them into a like a included feature, and for the additional save you need to pay extra. These are known as ancillary services. So now these extra paids are easy to buy on airline website, but are rarely sold to the third party sellers or through the GDS. And this is because GDS have found it very hard to enable and adopt because of their legacy technology. But now using NDC, airline can offer better extra baggage, seat reservation, plus a range of new paid extras that they have not been able to provide in the past. For example, Lufthansa Group actually sell lounge access vouchers, and British Airways actually allowing passengers to pre-purchase their meals. Singapore Airlines is also one of the example where they promise incentives for every ancillary services sold through the NDC channel. So these are the additional extra services which airline has more flexibility right now to offer to the client. Now access to the lower fares. Now airlines is offering right now with the GDS there is a high phase which goes to the GDS, basically where airline can avoid those GDS surcharges because NDC will give an opportunity to directly access. I have an example which I was reading where Lufthansa Group pays around £18 per passenger per booking to the GDS, right, which is to a approx 350 million euros, sorry, pounds is their yearly cost which goes to the GDSs. Now, compared to the cost when their direct booking is happening on their group website, it is coming to £2 kind of cost. So with this, there is a additional money which gets saved, and the surcharges get removed. And that benefit can be get shared with the travel agencies as well. Now, lower fare is basically as with the flexibility of the NDC. Yeah, you can pick the cheap fare, right now airline what they are doing is they have divided the fares into different families and brand. For example, if a light fare is which doesn't include baggages and offer no flexibility of the change and cancellation, whereas the additional fare is where you have the flexibility to change. So some airlines have begun to withdraw their cheapest fare families from the GDS to encourage the travel agent or travel seller to make the switch to the NDC. Now, if I'll give example is the Lufthansa Group has done like they no longer offer their lowest cost light fare, restricting them to the only through the NDC channels and the airline website. So that, and if you want to have the lowest fare, then you actually need to go for the NDC. So that's how they are encouraging and to the travel agency to offer NDC. With this way, the NDC penetration will happen. So these are the four benefits which you can have, like you can have access as a travel agency, access the low fares, you can have a richer customer experiences, you can sell wider range of extra paid, and avoid the GDS surcharges as well, which need to be paid. Now comes to the benefit for the traveler. So again, as they say, when there is a competition and tech comes, the benefit comes to the end consumer basically. So travelers can gain access to a lower fare as airline passes those savings through from NDC through the removal of GDS fees, and travelers will have the option to share personal information like loyalty program number, past flight references, etc. So with this information directly with the travel seller, who can then share the data directly to the airline, both parties can better manage the booking processes. But airline can also unblock dynamic pricing and personalized bundles like extra legroom, check bags, etc. On the basis of the past booking experiences, they can offer those lower fares as well. Now comes to the improved end-to-end booking experience over here. Prior to NDC, travel sellers used to use a very tedious method for booking end-to-end flight services. But now travel sellers can actually present more options in a very easy way, so the travelers to select exactly what they want, like extra baggages, upgrades, etc. Now travelers will also have more flexibility in managing their tiers, where making a change to a flight in the past may they have to proven time consuming and very challenging. Now travelers now be able to manage these adjustments easily with the travel sellers, or sometimes even their own going on a website as well. So the move to NDC also allows other airlines not normally tied to GDS, such as low cost carriers like some low cost carriers in the market, but now to the partners with the travel sellers, opening up more options for routes and the fares. So their experience actually get improved, and the transparency is, of course, with the airline sharing more information, traveler can actually have a better understanding, and they can differentiate the fares per airline wise, and the difference for the flight route offered at the same price for different airlines. So there's transparency in terms of pricing. Offers become very easy for the traveler side of it. So this is what was the benefit for the traveler. So let's see the difference in terms of NDC versus GDS comparison. A quick chart, a very small chart I have just created when it comes to NDC and GDS. If I talk about airline availability, yes, on the NDC currently the limit there is a limited content. Not all the airlines are available. Gradually it is increasing, but yes, GDS has always the penetrating the market. Maximum contents, all the contents are actually available on the GDS. Now, when it comes to access to lowest fares, yes, NDC has the maximum lowest fare available, but GDS has a very limited lower fares, because as I said, I gave you example of Lufthansa. Most of the airlines are actually shooting to the limited side of it. I mean, lowest fares are mainly available to GDS, so that more people can come to the NDC content. Now it comes to distribution surcharges, also known as GDS fees. Here on the NDC side, no fees is GDS fees is there, because obviously we are direct connections are happening. Whereas yes, in the GDS there is additional fees comes, and that's why the charges are higher. But and the same benefit in the NDC, the airlines are offering back to the travel agents and to travelers. Dynamic pricing, yes, here we are able to offer, the airlines are able to offer the dynamic pricing, because they know the information in terms of behavior, past booking experience, liking, disliking of the passenger. But here GDS wise, they have no control, so they cannot offer dynamic pricing. Rich content is also limited. There is no availability in GDS. They cannot show pictures and all. But yes, with the help of NDC, full content and rich content can come. Okay, the next is support of ancillaries. Yes, the full support from the ancillary services is there in the NDC, but GDS has a very limited support. Post booking support is limited when it comes to NDC. As I told you, the examples of the certification level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 goes by that. But in GDS, there is a full possibility to have the any kind of post booking support. So that was a quick differentiation, and that comes to the end of the day for today's topic. And I'll just give you a brief about my the travel technology blueprint, which I'm actually working on right now and offering to the travel agency, travel industry in the market right now. We have already covered travel technology pillars, white label blueprint, meta engines, dynamic packaging, and new distribution capabilities today. In future, we are going to talk about the extranet setup, travel, how to select a right API, and what are the loyalty program formula, how it can help. This whole blueprint is gonna cost a cost of approximately more than 1,000 USD. But right now I'm talking about it's free. All the information I'm offering free for the industry, because I have worked in the industry for quite long and I really want to give back. So utilize this information, share with your needful people, anybody you think is looking for more information about travel technology. So thank you once again for this. I will connect again tomorrow, day after tomorrow, for the next topic, and there we'll discuss more about the new topic. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Once again, thanks for your time today. Before you go off, please give it a like, subscribe, and turn on notification to get updates about my latest sales training videos. You can also like my social media pages on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Links are given below in the description. Also, don't forget to register for my upcoming webinar, and I will be seeing you live during the webinar. The webinar registration link will be below, or visit my website, vivekataria.com, to complete the registration for webinar. Thank you and see you live.